Since the start of the season, Scottie Barnes quickly emerged as one of the hottest rookies in the NBA, leading in many of the Rookie of the Year charts. But recently, he's kind of fallen into a little bit of a slump, giving other players the opportunity to truly make the case for themselves. So in today's video, we're going to try to answer 3 big questions about Scottie Barnes. The first being why he's in this slump, then if he's still in the running for Rookie of the Year, and finally, the biggest question is, should you be worried about the player? Let's get into it. Welcome NBA and Raptors fans. This is Amateur Hour Sports, the channel where you get NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors, with at least 4 YouTube videos coming out every single week. So if you like what you see from today's video, then make sure you are subscribed to the channel with that big red button down below. Help us on the road to 8,000 subscribers, and you can keep up to date with all of those great videos coming your way soon. But today, our big topic is Scottie Barnes, because, I think a lot of Raptors fans have had a bit of criticism for the rookie recently. A lot of fans are kind of sticking up for him, and I would say that would be the majority of fans, but there is a little bit of shock going on as to the play from Scottie Barnes recently. The statistics that he is displaying right now just aren't quite up to the level that he was displaying earlier on in the season, and people are really wondering what happened to the player, what changed, why are things moving like this? The Rookie of the Year conversations, they're flowing towards other players more at this present moment. And a lot of that did kind of take a back seat because the Raptors were winning games. We went on a nice 6-game win streak. We've been doing well, with that great win against the Bucks. We had a good performance against the Heat last night, ultimately turned into a loss because maybe some bad shooting, some calls don't go our way, but ultimately a loss, but still a good performance in that game and a good test for this Raptors team and a good test for Scottie Barnes, who put up a good amount of points, was a little bit inefficient from the field, but still a good amount of points on 6 for 18 shooting. It was a little bit better than he had been in some other games in this stretch, because over his last 7 games, he's averaging about 10 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. His shooting is about 40% from the field, 20% from 3. Huge contrast to what we've seen over the course of the whole season, especially about a month ago when he was averaging 15 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists on like 48 and 30 shooting. So things have gotten a little bit different for Scottie Barnes. And we kind of understand his true intentions, because last night he was quoted to have said, "It's important for me to try to win Rookie of the Year to start my legacy off right. That's been a goal of mine since the start of the season. It's something we should all be trying to achieve." Now, looking at this quote, I was kind of taken back by this. I wasn't expecting him to come and say something like this. I mean, I like the mentality. He wants to go win the award. He wants to kind of build a legacy. And that's what I would love. I want him to build a legacy. I want him to build a legacy with the Toronto Raptors. But, I think that right now, with the Raptors doing so well and Scottie Barnes playing, I would say, a good role in that, I was a little bit surprised to see something we should all be trying to achieve at the bottom of that quote. But, this is something that is clearly important to Scottie Barnes, and I like that it is important to Scottie Barnes. He wants these things. I think if you ask him about whether or not, it's about that or whether it's about the team, he's going to put the team first. But, personally, you still want to succeed. But with these recent stats, Scottie Barnes is in a little bit of a slump. So let's go to our first question. Why is Scottie Barnes in this slump? And I think that there are 2 big reasons for this. The first one, I think the more simple explanation is Scottie Barnes is 20 and he's a rookie. He's in a little bit of a slump right now. I think this is going to happen to every single rookie in the league at some point. You find a little bit of a slump, shots just aren't falling like they used to, maybe confidence drops a little bit. And confidence, to me, I've said many times, is the most important thing in sports. You don't have the confidence to execute things. You don't execute those things naturally. You can overthink, and that's when a lot of mistakes start to happen. Maybe that's the case for Scottie Barnes, but it's just a natural rookie slump. He had another one earlier in the season, but he bounced back in a big way. I expect him to bounce back in a big way from this one. Another factor into this is that the Raptors are healthy, and the Raptors, when they're healthy, have a lot of talented players. Siakam, Anunoby, and Fred VanVleet are big dogs who need to eat on the court. Those are players who need to get their points. And right now, Siakam is playing like all NBA level almost. Fred VanVleet is playing at an all-star level. And OG Anunoby is like the quietest 20-point per game player in the NBA. All of these guys need the ball a lot. And all of these guys get the ball a lot because they're really good at what they do. They're really good at putting the ball in the basket. They're excellent players on offense. They require attention. And, straight up, they're better offensive players than Scottie Barnes as it comes to scoring. Therefore, those players get the ball more often. Those players are scoring. Some people have been saying Scottie Barnes isn't getting the touches that he used to get, but I think he's getting plenty of those touches, but he's using them in different ways. Scottie Barnes, even though maybe the points aren't there, he is still influencing the game a ton offensively with his passing, with his playmaking, his open floor dribbling, not to mention the enormous talent he displays as a defender. Scottie Barnes is still contributing to wins, and the Raptors are winning some games right now, and the reason is because we have all these offensive players doing well, and we have players like Scottie Barnes enabling those guys to be even better. It's not unlike a rookie to have to take a little bit of a sacrifice for offense. You want to find a player who just takes every shot because their team sucks. He's just going to do everything and look really cool on the stat sheet. Well, go watch Cade Cunningham shoot inefficiently for the Detroit Pistons, who, even though they always beat the Raptors, are one of the worst teams in the NBA. And speaking of Cade Cunningham, we need to talk about the Rookie of the Year race. Scottie Barnes, who was, always up at the top. And when he wasn't, it was like, well, he should be at the top of the rookie ladder. He's kind of floating around the second, third, and fourth spot right now, and Evan Mobley has emerged as the dominant force in the Rookie of the Year race, and I think that is for a good reason. About a month ago, I wouldn't say a slam piece about Evan Mobley, but I talked about the battle between Scottie Barnes and Evan Mobley. It was a two-horse race, and at the time, it absolutely was a two-horse race, and I said Scottie Barnes is the one leading that race, and it is clear because Scottie Barnes is having almost 60% of his baskets be unassisted, whereas Evan Mobley has only 30% of his baskets unassisted. That was the key stat from this, showed Scottie Barnes is getting better offensive stats and they're more difficult shots to hit. And right now with the Raptors, winning more games, Scottie Barnes is a clear Rookie of the Year. Well, I'm not just going to hold on to that agenda. I'm not going to hold on to the bias anyway whatsoever. When new evidence is presented to me, I use this new evidence to dictate a new opinion. And based on the way things are going right now, Scottie Barnes kind of regressing a little bit. Evan Mobley has just put on full throttle here and is just excelling, and he is the clear favorite to win Rookie of the Year at this present point. But Scottie Barnes, things change so quickly. Scottie Barnes is coming off of an injury. He's coming off of COVID. These things have an effect on the player, and that's just another thing that can factor into the fact that he has just regressed maybe slightly on the offensive category. But if you're watching the Raptor games, Scottie Barnes still looks really good with the ball. Some of his finishing could be better. I think his interior scoring has diminished. He used to be kind of automatic in that right-sided elbow spot, that mid-range shot. He was looking really good at that earlier in the season. That's not quite falling for him right now. These things will come back to the player. That's like the only thing right now that just isn't there. The shooting isn't there, but everything else seems to be there for the player. As it comes to the Rookie of the Year race, as much as Scottie Barnes wants to be in that discussion, right now it just isn't quite happening, but things change so quickly. So is he out of the race? Absolutely not. Is he the favorite? No. Evan Mobley is definitely the favorite right now, the way he is playing. Just, when I spoke about Evan Mobley and Scottie Barnes, I wasn't saying Evan Mobley's a bad player. I was just saying Scottie Barnes is better and has been performing better. Right now, it kind of flip-flopped. Evan Mobley is performing much better than Scottie Barnes at this moment. Evan Mobley is a phenomenal player. But things change so quickly. You have a really good string of games, and all of a sudden, Scottie Barnes is going to be right back into that discussion. Franz Wagner was top of the rookie ladder like a couple weeks ago, and as good as he's been, he's just not quite up to Evan Mobley and Scottie Barnes, I believe, at this moment. So the final big question about Scottie Barnes after, maybe hitting this little slump here, should you be worried? And the answer is absolutely not. Scottie Barnes is 20 years old. He's a rookie. He's coming off of injuries. He's coming off of COVID. These things are affecting his game, maybe a little bit, maybe offensively, but ultimately, overall, the player is assisting and helping this team succeed. He is helping the Raptors and enabling the Raptors to be better and to help reach their highest potential, which I don't even think they've hit this season. They put on a really good couple of weeks, even though personally, Scottie Barnes, his stats don't quite reflect it. There are a lot of things he does well in the court. There's a reason he's getting all of these minutes, his ability to help make this team better. And a lot of the criticism about Barnes has been, all these other guys in the Raptors getting touches. We should be focused on getting Scottie Barnes these touches. I think it's helping Scottie Barnes. Like the Heat game yesterday was clear evidence of how well Pascal Siakam and Scottie Barnes play together. Pascal Siakam is drawing all these double teams, even sometimes triple teams right now, because he's just been that good. That's leaving more space open for players like Scottie Barnes, who took 18 shots yesterday. Lots of them in close, lots of them assisted by Siakam, attracting the double, which gave Scottie Barnes the ability to cut inside and get into the paint. That gave him a good chunk of his points. So all the factors involved in this. Do not be worried if you're Raptors fans. Like, we could be looking 1 month from now like, oh, what were we talking about back then? Because Scottie Barnes could be on it at that point. Things change very quickly when it comes to individual awards. Week by week, sometimes day by day, these award projections can change. I would love for Scottie Barnes to win the Rookie of the Year, and I really hope he does win the award. Right now, it's Evan Mobley's award to lose, but I mean, things just change so quickly. And even though I want that, I want the Raptors to continue to win games and submit their playoff position more than I want Scottie Barnes to individually achieve. So if Nick Nurse has established this is the role for the player, if Scottie Barnes has established this is my role to help the team succeed, I don't see any real problem with that. So check your priorities. I mean, some of you are naturally going to say in the comments, you care a lot more about Scottie Barnes winning Rookie of the Year than the Raptors succeeding. And to each its own. If that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But in my opinion, you come here for what I want to say. And what I want to say is don't be worried of this player. He's playing well right now even. And I think he's going to get out of this little funk that he's in and be just fine. Hopefully reinsert himself into those true Rookie of the Year conversations. So what have you made of the last 7 or 8 games with Scottie Barnes? Are you worried about the slump? Are you not worried? Is there even a slump at all? I would argue maybe there just isn't really that much to go off of. So let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, because that is it for me for today. If you made it to the end of the video, well, that deserves a like to show that you enjoyed the video. Help us get to 150 likes on this YouTube video. And if you really enjoyed and you are new, then make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're getting really close to 8,000 subscribers. Let's try to hit it by the end of the week. Help grow the channel. I would really appreciate, and keep it locked with Amateur Sports for more videos coming your way very soon.